Have you ever noticed how catchphrases in Hollywood movies make their way into popular culture? I've met people who tell me they find personal finance challenging because there's just too much to know with too many competing narratives. So I decided to marry something that is allegedly impenetrable, personal finance, with something universal, famous Hollywood lines, to make the concepts more accessible to those who claim to be frozen in confusion. We all know that the personal finance industry hasn't been able to reach a large swath of ordinary investors. Why?
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
So said the captain in Cool Hand Luke. And this is very true for the industry. Indeed, this is a conundrum that until now has evaded any kind of resolution. Which brings us to astronaut Jim Lovell in Apollo 13.
Houston, we have a problem.
That's frustrating for people like me who've spent their lives trying to help these same investors, and it makes me feel sort of like Howard Beale in Network.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
Simply put, getting people to build portfolios that are suited to their psychological temperament and station in life shouldn't be this hard. Obviously, some degree of context and customization is required, but then there's always an element of chance.
My mom always said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get.
So said Forrest Gump from the film of the same name. All that's needed for basic portfolio construction and retirement planning is to set a reasonable mix between stocks, bonds, cash, other things, to use diversified low-cost vehicles to build your portfolio, and then rebalance that portfolio with regular contributions and occasional tweaks. But the finance industry would have people believe that the situation is more complex than it really is.
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
That's what Margot Channing said in the classic movie All About Eve. But it doesn't have to be that way. To hear the industry tell it, portfolio management is largely about stock picking, fund picking, market timing, and regular trading. In reality, these pursuits add very little value for investors, but they go a long way to maximizing corporate profits. Sad but true. Alas, Colonel Nathan R. Jessup got it right in A Few Good Men when he said,
You can't handle the truth!
The personal finance industry has a machismo attitude that perpetually shifts people's attention to make them feel bullish. I call this Bullshift, which is the title of my latest book. Incidentally, the subtitle, How Optimism Bias Threatens Your Finances, could double both as a tidy plot summary and an industry challenge. As far as the finance industry is concerned, the idea is to make people feel bullish about both active management and future long-term returns. Despite this, the overwhelming weight of evidence suggests that these pursuits, spurred on by an optimistic, don't worry, be happy attitude, causes investors to fall short of otherwise achievable goals. Investors might shout,
Show me the money! Show me the money! Yeah!
which is what football player Rod Tidwell told his agent in the movie Jerry Maguire, as they demand high returns with modest risk, as if that combination was reasonable. The challenge in calling out an industry that has long depended on this presumptive yet discredited value proposition of strong returns with only modest risk is that it poses a distinct career risk for advisors who challenge it. The ethos is pervasive. Until now, evidence-based advisors are in their minority and have worked decidedly outside the mainstream. Despite this, they continue to fight the good fight in the hope that their message will one day be heard. It's a bit of a dream about what could have been, if only. Like ex-pugilist Terry Malloy in On the Waterfront when he tells his brother,
I could have had class. I could have been a contender.
hopeful change agent advisors rely on the media to offer a counter-narrative to the pervasive industry bullshit. Wishful thinking? Maybe.
I've always depended on the kindness of strangers,
Said Blanche Dubois in the final scene of A Streetcar Named Desire. And so Blanche and these advisors together walk the talk of taking a truly long-term view, as did another lady played to perfection by that same Hollywood legend Vivian Leigh, when as Scarlett O'Hara she said in the last line of Gone with the Wind,
after all, tomorrow is another day.
we can only pray that their struggle is righteous and will ultimately carry the day when the universe unfolds as it should, or as Han Solo said in Star Wars,
May the Force be with you.